inside. As we gather here today, and as all of us are observing the sacred 9 days of Navarathri, my heart overflows with gratitude and reverence. Looking at all of you, my dear beautiful devotees, to my young children and to our wise others, I'm reminded how the Divine Mother's love flows through all stages of our lives. Just as Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba taught us. And you all sang the songs for Durga Ma very nice. In fact, the two songs that I got very emotional was Un Yenure Niyamma and Palajan Munga. I get very emotional with that two songs. Bhagavan often said the mother is the first guru of the child. Now, how profound these words become during Navarathri. Just as our earthly mothers who nurture us with unconditional love, Goddess Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati represent a cosmic motherhood that guides, protects, and blesses us throughout our spiritual journey. Now I've got to quote my grandson. Whenever you do something wrong, he always say, silly man or silly tata or some joke. So I'm going to quote him and say, I wonder who was a silly person who said that women are the weaker sex. Now Navaratri reminds us of the divine feminine power that sustains and nurtures the universe, embodied in Goddess Durga. These 9 days are a precious time to honor her strength, courage, and compassion, but also to celebrate Goddess Lakshmi, the giver of abundance, and Goddess Saraswati, the giver of intelligence, wisdom, and learning. In our Sai tradition, we have deep respect for the Divine Mother. Baba often reminded us of the greatness and powers of womanhood. He said, the woman with 9 different powers is the very embodiment of Adi Sakti, the primal universal energy. And from ancient times, the feminine aspect of the divine has been revered for nurturing life and sustaining dharma, which is righteousness. These goddesses we honor during Navaratri, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, are all manifestations of this divine Sakti that Baba spoke about. She is power, she is love, she is wisdom. Let's talk about Goddess Durga, the warrior mother. During the first 3 days of Navaratri, we worship Goddess Durga, the fierce protector. And Swami beautifully explained, Durga means the removal of miseries. She destroys the evil tendencies and protects the good. Goddess Lakshmi. The middle 3 days of Navaratri are dedicated to Goddess Lakshmi. But Swami taught us that the real Lakshmi is not just material wealth, not the dollars and cents. He said, Lakshmi represents not merely wealth, but all forms of prosperity, physical, mental, and spiritual. Swami reminds us, what you give with love comes back to you multiplied. This, for me, is really a positive message, and I always enjoy hearing constantly from our dear brother standing there, Brother Oxy. He always, let me repeat what he always says, what you give with love comes back to you multiplied many times or manyfold. Every time I see him, I hear this from him. And that's what Goddess Lakshmi actually means. It's not material wealth and how you give and how you get that. When we worship Lakshmi with the right understanding, we attract not just material prosperity, but a true wealth of contentment. good health, loving relationships, and spiritual growth. The final 3 days, we celebrate Goddess Saraswati, the embodiment of knowledge, intelligence, and wisdom. Swami often emphasized, Saraswati is the goddess who confers on devotees the gift of knowledge, art, and intelligence. Swami teaches us that education should build character, not just careers. We've got lots of people that I know who might have multiple degrees, but they lack education. When I say that, I mean character. Yeah? So when we seek Saraswati's blessings, we should pray for wisdom to discriminate between right and wrong, knowledge that serves humanity, and the humility to forever remain a student. This Holy Trinity, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, in our daily lives, are not distant deities, but living forces within us and around us. Every mother who protects her child embodies Durga's strength. Every person who shares generously embodies Lakshmi's abundance. And every teacher who guides with love embodies Saraswati's wisdom. I can briefly share with you my personal story. My father passed away when I was growing up and was in my late teens. My mother was suddenly a single parent. And although she did face enormous challenges, she never lost faith in Durga. And the determination in raising her 5 children, me being the eldest. She did amazing and wonderful things, like a super mom, braving difficulties, much like Durga's fierce battle with Mahisasura. Her courage, perseverance, endurance, tenacity, and faith in God helped us and kept us intact as a family, much like Durga protects her devotees from negativity and destruction. To me, personally, in my storybook, my dearest mother was my living example of Durga's spirit within ordinary people. And my wife can attest to that because she will call her Iron Lady, but she was fantastic. She was my living example of what Durga is. Sai Baba once spoke of the spirit of sacrifice and boundless love that only a woman can embody. He said, a mother is ready to sacrifice everything, even her life, for the sake of a child. This is not just poetic thought, but a reality in millions of homes. The strength of Durga is not just in her mighty arms, but in her heart. The heart of a mother who faces challenges to protect her family, the community, and the world. As we celebrate Lakshmi during Navarathri, let us remember prosperity is not merely wealth, but the fullness of life, which is peace, health, love, and harmony. And Baba, as I said, reminded us that the true wealth is righteousness and love that come from a blessed heart. And he said, women possess 7 divine powers, including truth, righteousness, peace, love, sacrifice, patience, and compassion. Goddess Lakshmi blesses us to cultivate these qualities so that our homes and society prosper in every way. Thank God and my mother's blessings, I have also found my living example of Lakshmi. And then there is Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge and wisdom. Many among us look to Saraswati for focus, clarity, and the ability to see beyond the Maya, beyond the illusion. Baba said that wisdom is not merely book knowledge, but the understanding of self and the divine within. Saraswati's blessings help us discover this inner wisdom and express it in our daily lives. I am still learning, and I'm continually searching for wisdom and for slightly higher intelligence. I really mean natural intelligence, not artificial intelligence. In devotion to these goddesses, Sai Baba taught us to honor the divine unity in both masculine and feminine principles. From ancient times, the feminine aspect of the divine has been worshipped in many ways, where women are honored and esteemed. The divinity is present with all its potency. This sacred balance within ourselves and society is essential and true for true harmony and progress. So I urge all of us here today, young and old, to see this Navarathri not just as a festival, but as a reminder to awaken the Sakti within each of us, to be strong like Durga, compassionate like Lakshmi, and wise like Saraswati. When we do so, we live in the teachings of Sai Baba, who showed us that divinity is not afar, but is within, accessible through love, faith, and service. May this Navarathri renew our spirits and bring us closer to the Divine Mother. Let us pray. Let us pray sincerely, serve sincerely, and live sincerely with the strength and grace that come from her blessings. We don't have many children here, but I had a message for the children. A very simple message. I said, remember, the children can also be like goddesses in small ways. Be like Durga when you stand up. People like Ajay and all. Be like Durga when you stand up for what is right, even when others don't. Be like Lakshmi when you share your toys, your food, or your time with friends who need them. Be like Saraswati when you study with dedication and help classmates who struggle. Let me tell you, I like the one on share your toys. Auntie will tell you, when my kids were young, this is in the 80s, with our old kids, whenever we used to go to the orphanage, one of the rules I have for my son and my daughter is very simple. When you go to the orphanage, you must give up one or two of your toys that you haven't played for the last 6 months. So whenever you're going to the orphanage, they go through it. Because I said, if you don't give up any toy, but the rule is very simple. For my son, make sure the cars all have their wheels. And my daughter, make sure the ice is there, the legs are there, the clothes are still there. Yeah? So make sure the toys can be used. And once they started doing it, they learned the joy of giving. You ask Ati and see, they just love to see the expression again. Because the rule is simple. You don't give a toy, you don't get any new toy. So that's also a motivation. Something that I enjoy doing with kids. I have to teach my grandkids to do that, so they're still now very possessive with toys. So Sept Swami, the child who reveres and have deep respect for the mother, will be revered by the world. This reverence starts with respecting our own mothers and extends to all our mother figures. So finally, the message for our times. In today's world filled with challenges and uncertainties, the worship of the Divine Mother becomes even more relevant. She reminds us that strength comes from righteousness, prosperity comes from sharing, and wisdom comes from humility. As Swami taught us, let the different aspects of the Divine Mother, remove all the different types of darkness from your lives and usher in illumination, prosperity, and wisdom. As I conclude, our collective prayer must be, let's make a collective resolution. Let us promise to embody these divine qualities in our daily life. Let every home become a temple where Durga's courage, Lakshmi's generosity, and Saraswati's wisdom reside. Let our children learn not just from textbooks, but from our example. Let them see in us the living presence of the Divine Mother, Divine Mother's love, protection, and guidance. And Swami's final message resonates. You are the mother, you are the father, you are the friend, you are the knowledge, you are the wealth, you are everything to me, my Lord. And when we realize this, every day becomes Navarathri. And every moment becomes worship. May Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba's message, blessings and Divine Mother's grace be with all of us. May these 9 days transform our hearts and make us worthy instruments of divine love and service. Love all, serve all. As we celebrate the Divine Mother, let us remember that true devotion lies not in rituals alone, but in transforming ourselves into the embodiments of her divine qualities. Jai Sai Ram.